Today on Channel 8 News, we'll be interviewing a local Aggieville business owner before new construction makes its way to the Ville,
We'll also be discussing some concerns that may be affecting your children's lunches.
as well as showing some highlights from K-State's 63rd Annual College Rodeo. All that and more coming up on Channel 8 News.
It could get into the high 40s today, but what does that mean for the weekend? Stay tuned to find out.
This is Channel 8 News.
Good morning, I'm Rachel Hogan. Many students find that K-State is an outlier when it comes to canceling classes due to weather. Later on in the show, Channel 8 News has the report.
And I'm Miriam Chamberlain. Aggieville is expected to see changes in the next couple of years due to construction. City planners have been preparing for renovations to add more parking in the Ville. Channel 8 News reporter Macy Burney is in Aggieville with the owner of Shaggyville's Hair Salon. Macy, can you talk to us about how the construction might affect this local business owner?
Thanks, Miriam. The Aggieville District in Manhattan is an iconic part of town for students and community members alike. It is home to Manhattan classics like Varsity Donuts, Taco Lucha, and a variety of bars that provide a vibrant nightlife. Despite its spot at the heart of town, the district is in long need of renovations. Channel 8 reporter Anna Christensen caught up with folks at City Hall to find out more.
Ben Schmiel has been working on the Aggieville Community Vision project for the last several years. As a city planner, Schmiel focuses on creating spaces that the community can enjoy.
How do we furnish the sidewalks? How can we reorient parking spaces to create more public space and more engaging spaces, spaces that people want to gather and hang out in, and really celebrate the kind of the place of Aggieville.
The Aggieville Community Vision is a plan that sets out ways to renovate the district. City planners have looked for ways to improve safety, accessibility, and friendliness to pedestrians.
So currently our sidewalks are anywhere from 8 to 10 feet, and we would look to grow those, add landscaping, so street trees and bushes and flowers and other landscaping material.
One of the first projects of the Aggieville Community Vision is the construction of a parking garage at the already existing lot near Rally House at the intersection of Manhattan and Laramie. Developers warn that the construction period will be challenging, but it is well worth it for the district-wide improvements.
We can accomplish something that 5 years from now, similar to downtown, we can look back and say, hey, we did something good. Have you been down there? It's amazing.
Community members should be on the lookout for changes in the coming months and years. In Manhattan, I'm Anna Christensen, Channel 8 News.
Aggieville business owners like Shaggyville's Lachelle Blaine will be most affected by the upcoming changes. Lachelle, how will business change once construction has started?
You know, I'm pretty hopeful that it won't affect my business that much. I know that we got a great team of people that are going to make sure that this whole process just goes really smoothly, and I'm excited for the improvements that we're going to make. I think it's going to make Aggieville better as a whole for not just my business but all of the other businesses in Aggieville, and I'm excited. So hopefully it'll be smooth and very productive.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have any concern about how the construction will affect your business?
You know, one of the concerns would definitely be the parking, because, you know, a lot of our clients, you know, of all ages, they walk into the salon. But again, I think that is a concern that a lot of our businesses have, is the parking situation. And I know they are working on it to make it the best.
And I know there's been talk about a garage being built near here. And do you think that will help a lot with that situation?
You know, I do. I think that garage will be a huge asset to give people more parking. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And has there been any discussion on how life in Aggieville will change once construction has started and when it's over?
Well, it is called the Aggieville Improvement District, so I am just looking forward to some nice improvements, and I think the vision of Aggieville is going to be really nice, and I'm excited. I think a lot of the business owners are excited.
All right, and that looks like that's all the time we have left today. Thank you so much, Lachelle, for talking to us.
Thank you.
And that's all the time we have. Live in Aggieville, I'm Macy Burning, Channel 8 News. Now back to Miriam and Rachel in the studio.
Thanks, Macy. The City of Manhattan is looking for a new flag and is asking the public for help. The city is sponsoring a contest for flag designs. The design must be original, and designers are urged to stay away from lettering and official seals. Submissions can be made in physical form by mailing in or delivering a paper card with your design to City Hall or in digital format online at cityofmhk.com/flag. The contest is meant to bring the community together by giving residents something to call their own.
The idea behind the contest is to unite the city of Manhattan, give people a symbol that gives them an association with place and an identity.
The deadline for submissions is March 29th at 5 p.m. The Arts and Humanities Advisory Board will choose 5 finalists before the public votes on a winner in June.
Could the food you send on your child's field trip be making them sick? K-State researchers say unless the food is well stored and kept cold, that sack lunch may be giving them an upset stomach. Reporter Jason Clapp talked with some of the researchers to find out more.
Over time, inside those coolers, even with the ice pack on the bottom of the cooler, the top layer of food actually does warm up.
Professor Phoebus of the Food Science Institute at K-State recently took part in a study that observed hot temperatures that school food may be exposed to before being given out to children.
We found out that the maximum interior temperature of the buses that we monitored reached 105 degrees Fahrenheit.
Sarah Gregg, assistant professor of animal sciences and industry, says the products were put through a worst-case scenario to see how they'd hold up to the harsh conditions.
So our goal was to try to simulate the worst case that a food product on a field trip might encounter. So what we did was we took lunch meat sandwiches, baby carrots, and also apple slices, and we inoculated them with Salmonella or Listeria monocytogenes, and we placed them into sack lunches and into coolers.
Associate Professor Gregg says that their data only confirms previous food safety regulations.
The FDA Food Code, which suggests that time can be used as a public health control up to 4 hours, we were basically demonstrating with our data that that is sound advice.
Research Associate Professor Paula Piez said that this study in particular is important due to its association with schools.
When you think about different places where you can go eat out, schools are one of the safest places. They are required by federal regulation to have a food safety plan.
And while this study was insightful on food safety concerns, Professor Phoebus says that there is more research that needs to be done.
So we have to keep in mind that we only looked at 3 different food products here. We still have information to do there.
And when things get hot, a little more ice never hurt anyone.
Still recommend that coolers be packed with at least 3 layers of ice if possible.
In Manhattan, I'm Jason Clapp for Channel 8 News.
The study is featured in the January and February issue of Food Protection Trends. You can find their website at www.foodprotections.org for more information. Coming up after the break, we'll be showing you highlights of K-State's 63rd Annual College Rodeo, as well as a look at where K-State graduates go after college.
Left side 3 ball, yes! Throws it down! Wow! Goodness, Steve, way up above the rim and a block. Gary Brown taking on Gildas Alexander, and he scores! Are you kidding? Kansas State is headed to the Elite Eight.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population. We are
a family that believes
that diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
Now throws it up the glass and it goes in! And one for Peyton Williams! To the left, it's wide open for Reiki. Yes! 3-pointer!
Goff gets the ball back, left baseline, 8-footer.
Good! Answer 3-pointer. It's good!
The
This weekend was K-State's 63rd Annual College Rodeo. There were all kinds of events where contestants from 18 colleges and universities were in attendance. Channel 8 reporter Alex Gailey spoke to members of the K-State Rodeo team.
Some of the events for the men's teams include bareback riding, saddleback riding, bull riding, steer wrestling, ream roping, and calf roping, while the women's team's events are barrel racing, breakaway open, goat tying, and team roping. Fourth-year K-State rodeo coach Casey Wynn travels with the team.
Well, this is the only weekend that we host here at K-State for college rodeo. We go to the other colleges for 9 other events during the year.
The K-State Rodeo had a big turnout this weekend, with fans coming from all across Kansas. One of the highlights for K-State was Kyle Ike's rodeo performance.
This weekend went really well. I'll say I didn't have as much luck in the team open, but in the steer wrestling I was lucky enough to make the short round, which is the top 10 fastest times come back on the short round and Sunday. And then I was lucky enough to make that, and I ended up winning the short round and ended up third in the average, which is the fastest on 2 steers.
Last year, the K-State rodeo team didn't have anyone who placed, but won the Fort Scott's women's team's rodeo. This year, K-State made it their goal to improve. Currently, the men's team is ranked 8th and the women's team is ranked 7th out of the 20 schools involved in the rodeo. In Manhattan, Alex Gailey, Channel 8 News.
You can keep up with the K-State Rodeo by going to their website, kstaterodeoclub.com.
Kansas State Career Center recently released the 2017 through 2018 annual post-graduation report. The annual report is conducted to determine what most recent K-State grads are doing after they receive their diploma. The Career Center reported 96% of Kansas State graduates have found employment or are choosing to further their education. This number is up 1% from the previous graduation class. Not only has those rates increased, the overall median starting income has rose by 2%.
Try to provide a lot of opportunities to connect students with employers, and so that happens through some of our career fair events. Last fall we had the largest ever all-university career fair that drew the most employers and students ever to Bramlage Coliseum over 3 days.
For students looking for career opportunities or to touch up their resumes, the Career Center offers free help to enrolled students. With SGA elections coming up next week, Channel 8 News decided to take a closer look at what SGA does for K-State's campus.
With SGA elections on the horizon, many students like junior Jake Monet find themselves wondering what SGA is all about.
I think what they do is they kind of allocate the resources of the university, kind of like the budgeting, maybe where our privilege fees go, but to be honest, I don't really see much information as to like where that money goes to, how it gets allocated. I think communication on that from maybe the higher up university officials or some of the people that are in SGA would be a lot better.
The Multicultural Affairs Director for SGA, Senior Mackenzie McIntosh, informed us of how SGA is structured.
And it's split up into 3 different branches, so the judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative branch. And each branch kind of focuses on different things and has different goals. But altogether, we are a group of students that are really trying to make campus a better place.
SGA's general election will be February 26th to the 27th. Mackenzie also took time to explain why it's important to vote and to be aware of who's running for office.
So it's super important for students to actually vote and have that voice of who is going to be in those positions, because these are the students that are going to be carrying out those projects and fixing those problems on campus.
As an advisor, Reed believes students not being aware of SGA should spark an initiative towards improving SGA's awareness throughout campus.
Evidently, if there's a perception out there that students aren't knowing about SGA, then it's probably something that we should take up as an initiative and get the word out better.
If you would like to find out more as to what SGA does, you can attend their weekly meetings on Thursdays at 7 p.m. in the Wildcat Chamber located in the Union. In Manhattan, I'm Luis Villarreal, Channel 8 News.
SGA elections are right around the corner. Voting starts the 26th and ends on the 27th.
Coming up after the break, Channel 8 reporter Kaylee McLaughlin is going to be taking a look at the weather and diving into how K-State determines when to close campus because of it.
Left side 3 ball, yes! Throws it down! Wow! Oh my goodness! goodness, Steve! Way up above the rim and a block! Derek Brown taking on Gildas Alexander, and he scores! Are you kidding? Kansas State is headed to the Elite Eight!
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are a family that believes
that diversity, inclusion,
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
Now throws it at the glass and it goes in! And in one for Peyton Williams! To the left, it's wide open for Reiki. Yes! Three-pointer!
Goff gets the ball back, left baseline, 8-footer.
Good! Reiki's answer three-pointer. It's good!
Even with our harsh Kansas winter, Kansas State University has yet to cancel a full day of classes. Channel 8 weather anchor Kaylee McLaughlin took a look at how those decisions are made and also looks ahead in our forecast.
Despite ice storms and blizzard conditions, Kansas State University often seems reluctant to cancel classes. Student Jonathan Cole said winter weather can create a hazardous campus.
When it was horribly icy out a couple weeks ago, and I literally slipped and fell in leadership studies, especially last week when we had a ton of snow. I know it makes it hard for differently abled students to get on campus, much less drive when all the roads aren't plowed. So yeah, I mean, we had no problem canceling classes with KSU Night. Why can't we cancel classes for snow days when they're desperately needed?
Vice President for Administration and Finance, Cindy Bontrager, is part of the decision-making process when it comes to campus closures. She says the choice to cancel class isn't always easily made.
The institution, the university, has a lot of responsibilities that we need to maintain and take care of every single day. And we have a lot of employees that need to be here to take care of students who are in residence halls. We have animal cares. We have animals that are here. We need staff to come in and take care of those responsibilities. And so it truly is very difficult for the university to ever close.
In each case of winter weather, the Inclement Weather Action Team meets to make a recommendation to the provost and the president, who then decide whether or not to cancel class.
We understand that as we're making these decisions, it is not going to be something that will be acceptable or doable for everyone. There will always be some that it's not a good decision for them because of their circumstance. And so we do really rely on our students to consider for themselves and make that decision of whether they are able to come to campus if it's going to be safe for them. And and with our jobs, we know that we can always do better. I mean, it's one of those things that we really do strive to improve.
From Manhattan, Kaylee McLaughlin, Channel 8 News. While it has been chilly here in Manhattan the last couple of weeks, it should be warming up today with mostly cloudy weather and a high of 43 degrees expected to peak about 4 p.m. this afternoon, and midday temps at 33 degrees. We should see a decline tonight at around 11 p.m. as we dip back into typical Kansas weather patterns for the winter, but in Friday we should expect afternoon showers with a high to stay about in the 40s, but it'll start to decline as we move into Saturday with a wintry mix of rain and snow at 22 miles per hour of wind. So stay bundled up if you're going out after the game on Saturday night to Aggieville, guys. And then on Sunday, it should be mostly sunny with a high of 34. In the lows, about 17 in the mid-teens, expecting to move into the weekend, out of the weekend into next week, where it should continue to decline. And then for Kansas this week, and especially today, we should see warmer temperatures in the northern as we decline in the south. So make sure you're bundled up no matter where you are, guys. All right, thanks. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Kaylee. Up next, we'll be taking a look at how Manhattan High School's wrestling team performed at the regional championship. Also, a glimpse at K-State's men's basketball Big 12 rankings.
Left side three ball. Yes. Throws it down. Wow. Oh my goodness, Steve! Way up above the rim and a block. Barry Brown taking on Gildas Alexander. And he scores! Are you kidding? Kansas State is headed to the Elite Eight.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are
A family that believes
that diversity, inclusion
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
Now throws it up the glass and it goes in. And in long for Peyton Williams. To the left, it's wide open for Reinke. Yes, three-pointer. Goff gets the ball back, left baseline, 8-footer. Good. Reinke's answer three-pointer. It's good!
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. It's time to look at sports throughout the community. Reporter Molly Hackett has more. Molly?
The Manhattan High wrestling team will have plenty of representation at the state wrestling meet after their success at regionals this last weekend. Bailey Short has more from the team that is sending almost all of their starters to state.
Over this past weekend, the Manhattan High School wrestling team competed at the 6A Regional Championship. The team was the regional runner-up while qualifying 13 out of their 14 wrestlers for the state championship meet. While they were runners-up this past weekend, the Manhattan High wrestling program has a history of excellence.
I grew up in this program, and I just love being part of the tradition, help continue the excellence that we've developed.
For 6 seniors, the state championship meet this weekend will be the last time they'll be competing for the Manhattan High wrestling program.
Seniors is unique. We were actually, coaching staff was just talking about it. I mean, this is a special group. Every group we have, we feel is special, but this one has something about them that's a little different than, it's their own personality.
Nebraska signee Clayton Wilson is among the seniors and will compete for yet another state championship in his individual weight class.
Qualifying for state, it's just a little step in the process of becoming a state champ.
Wilson won regionals this past weekend along with fellow senior Christian Schlepp. They credit their teammates and coaches for their individual success throughout the years.
If I didn't come in here every day with the group of guys and the group of coaches, I wouldn't be where I was at. I wouldn't be succeeding.
It's sad coming here my last time with all my brothers that I've grown up with since we were 4 years old, running around Kids Club, and Coach Bomson, Coach Grader, and Coach Gonzo. Known them years beyond high school, so it's pretty devastating that it's all coming to end, but hopefully we can end it with a bang.
The Manhattan High wrestling team will look to win a state championship this weekend at the Kansas 6A State Championships. This is Bailey Short with Channel 8 News.
The Manhattan High wrestlers were runner-up at regionals, but look forward to a rematch with Derby High School this weekend at the state championships. On Monday night, the men's basketball team traveled to Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers. After a loss to the 23rd-ranked Iowa State Cyclones on Saturday, the Wildcats needed a win to keep the lead in the Big 12 Conference. They came out playing a pretty evenly matched game against the Mountaineers, with Barry Brown and Dean Wade scoring 18 of the 30 points in the first half. In the second half, Snead took over, scoring a season high of 19 points. The Wildcats were able to secure the win after holding the Mountaineers to a 19-2 run in the second half. The Wildcats have won 10 out of the last 11 games in the Big 12 and will take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys on Saturday at 3 p.m. in Manhattan. Even though K-State lost to Iowa State over the weekend, they still remain in the top spot in the Big 12 for a third week in a row. Texas Tech and KU were on the Wildcats' tail as they trail by one win, with the Wildcats ahead. The students seem to be excited for the future of the team.
I think they're doing pretty well. They're doing pretty awesome. They're number one right now currently.
After the break, we finish off the show with a look at Pat Bosco's last lecture and a final glimpse at the weather.
Left side three ball, yes! Throws it down! Wow! Oh my goodness, Steve! Way up above the rim and a block!
Derek Brown taking off field as Alexander, and he scores! Are you kidding?
Kansas State is headed to the Elite Eight!
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind. A family that represents a diverse and eclectic population.
We are
A family that believes
that diversity, inclusion
and sportsmanship
are expectations.
We are a family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive and welcoming environment.
A family that treats people with respect and dignity.
An empowered family.
Who empowers family.
We are family, diverse and together.
Now throws it up the glass and it goes in! And in one for Peyton Williams! To the left, it's wide open for Reinke. Yes! Three-pointer! Goff gets the ball back, left baseline, 8-footer. Good! Reinke's answer three-pointer. It's good!
Kansas State University Dean of Students gave his last lecture Friday following his decision to retire this year. Channel 8 reporter Katie Fink has more.
Last Friday, the K-State University Mortar Board hosted Dr. Pat Bosco's last lecture here at the Leadership Studies Building. Senior Max Meyer explains why Mortar Board decided to invite Dr. Bosco to speak for this year's last lecture.
We've been doing this for the last few years, and we normally have had it for professors in the past, and it basically gives them an opportunity to give a lecture about something they find very important that they might not necessarily be able to present in their classroom. But this year we decided on Dr. Bosco. Because he is such a well-known figure on campus, and it actually ended up being where this will be one of his last lectures. So we wanted to give students, community members, faculty an opportunity to come hear from him, and we really feel that he embodies our ideal, so we thought he was a great candidate to give this lecture for us.
The lecture served as a way to highlight Bosco's achievements and the successes of the many programs on campus, as well as a final goodbye to students.
I was taken back by the response I received all over the country from my lecture, my remarks about authenticity, about what makes K-State special, that we're real, we care about everyone's opportunity to be successful here, and that's our legacy. I put in about 14, 15 hours every day, 7 days a week, and I'll turn 70 in October of this year, and so it was a promise to my wife, and I'm keeping that promise.
This is Dr. Bosco's last semester as the Vice President here at Kansas State University. A new Dean of Students has yet to be determined for the 2019-2020 school year. In Manhattan, I'm Katie Fink for Channel 8 News.
It's been really cold recently.
Yes, it has. Tell us what the weather's looking like for this weekend.
So this weekend is actually going to be pretty typical Kansas weather as we dip back into snow on Saturday, and then colder temperatures next week.
All right,
Alrighty.
That's all we have for this week on Channel 8 News. We'll see you guys next week.
This is Channel 8 News.